scores in the Big Ten Conference featured this afternoon. Luka Garza closing in on 2,000 career points, has his hands full with Marcus Carr and the Minnesota Golden Gophers today. It's a top 25 rematch between Minnesota and Iowa. Just 16 days ago on Christmas Day, Minnesota trailed by 7 with less than a minute to go in regulation. They forced overtime and then got red hot from beyond the long line. Brandon Johnson with a barrage of three-pointers as Minnesota pulled out the win. It's basketball on the Big Ten Network, presented by Jeep. Number 16 versus number 5. It is good to be with you. Chris Vosters alongside Stephen Bardo. Crack open that bottle of Coca-Cola, my friend. We got a good one today between Marcus Carr and Luka Garza.
If you want high-level offense, you tune into the right game. Two of the best in the country to do it. And this is not all they do. Not only offensive stalwarts, they touch each and every aspect of the game, but they're elite in this category, as you can see this afternoon.
Luka Garza, he is so good, Steven. I think he's forgotten what a one-on-one matchup looks like.
Well, as he should, because he can command so much attention. You can't guard him one-on-one. He's seen every defensive scheme, look, double team that people can throw at him, and yet he's still efficient. This is not a guy that has to shoot 30 times a night to get 30 points. Very efficient, takes care of his free throws, can step away from the three, can score on any place in the court, but this is where he does most of his damage. When he catches that low, it's cancel Christmas.
Patient and relentless, and even though Garza had 32 points, 17 rebounds on Christmas Day against Minnesota, he was the one who got his Christmas canceled, thanks in large part to Marcus Carr, who went off as well. 30 points for Carr, along with 8 helpers.
Yeah, Carr is a guy that is not the fastest. He doesn't jump the highest. He's not the tallest, but he seems to figure it out in each situation. However, coming into this game, he's struggling, looking for his opportunities. His field goal percentage is far south of where he would prefer and his teammates to prefer, so expect him to get started early and often here this afternoon.
All right, our starting lineups brought to you by Jeep. Liam Robbins draws the unenviable task of matching up with Luka Garza in the post again, but Robbins was named Big Ten Player of the Week last week. He's been outstanding, the Drake transfer in his first season with Minnesota. And for Iowa, a very veteran starting lineup. They were the preseason number 5 team in the country, and that's exactly where they are going into this rematch against Minnesota.
Look at this matchup. Minnesota trying to find some sort of consistency on the road in Iowa. We talk about Garza a lot, but boy, they've got some players. They are deep. They can score. Wieskamp is one of the best at his position in the conference. This ought to be a fun one.
You can say that about just about every Big Ten matchup we get this year. As you see, this is already the 12th top 25 matchup in the conference this year, and the 205th all-time meeting between Minnesota and Iowa, and it has been a very close all-time series. Minnesota leads 107-97.
I like what Minnesota's doing. They're going to make Garza play defense.
And Liam Robbins can play some offense. We know that.
Yeah, they're going to force Garza to pick up defensively, try to get him in some situations where maybe they can get a couple fouls.
Joe Wieskamp gets to the bucket, and Steven, Wieskamp's been a little quiet over the last 2 games. A good start for him.
It is a good start for him, and Wieskamp is far too talented for him to be quiet. He can do so many different things on the floor. That time puts it on the deck and leaves Booth Gotch in his shoes.
Brandon Johnson trying to set the screen for Marcus Carr. It was Johnson who hit 8 out of 9 three-point attempts in Minnesota's win over Iowa on Christmas. And Gabe Kalsher cannot finish the layup. Jordan Bohannon with the lob to Garza, the catch, and he gets off a difficult one-handed close-range shot.
That is not easy, as you well know, Chris. Luka Garza, he does something every game that I scratch my head at, and like, how did he do that? That was one of them right there.
So many things about Garza's game you can point to: his patience, his hands, his footwork, his relentlessness. Jordan Bohannon blows into the lane and feeds C.J. Frederick. Short corner 2-point shot is off, and Marcus Carr cannot save it. It's Iowa ball.
So Robbins gets into the post. He's going to make Garza work. Iowa's not going to double team. And Robbins splits them, and then here goes Garza running the floor, doing his work early. Catch, concentration, finish.
I don't know how you practice that, but it certainly looks like that wasn't the first time Garza's pulled a move like that, as the lefty Connor McCaffrey misses the jumper, and this time it's Minnesota ball.
Wow, Coach Pitino's snapping on his guys, telling them to rebound the basketball, trying to instill some fire in his Gophers on the road early.
We're going to be keeping an eye on Minnesota's assist numbers in particular. Coach Pitino getting on his squad about rebounding early, but Minnesota has lived and died by its ability to share the ball. Their assist numbers are way higher in their 3 Big Ten wins this season compared to their 3 Big Ten losses, which have all been on the road. Inside to Garza, blocked by Robbins. And here comes Minnesota with a transition opportunity. Gotch pulls up, does not drop, and Brandon Johnson might have plucked that one off of Liam Robbins' head, and he ties the game at 4. Garza, and one the other way.
So that's one of the things that I don't think a lot of people in the country don't understand. Iowa, you could score on Iowa, but you better run back, because if you don't, this is what happens.
As Steven Jersey's already come untucked for Garza. What do you think that means?
It's just he's ready to go to work. I mean, he probably wasn't happy that Robbins got that first bucket on him, and so he wants to give it back to him, and he certainly has.
We talked to Liam Robbins, actually, about the matchup with Luka Garza. And one thing Robbins told us is that you can't hang your head defending Luka Garza when he does score, because it's going to happen. He's averaging 27 points per game.
Yeah, it's just, you know, you got to understand it's going to be a long game and that he is going to score. You have to respect your opponent, but you also want to go at him as well and make him work.
Difficult turnaround jump shot for Brandon Johnson, who might save some special stuff for Iowa. We'll have to see.
Well, that was a tough move right there. Plant, turn around in the paint.
It's Jordan Bohannon, and unsurprisingly, both teams off to a pretty good shooting start in 3.5 minutes of action.
Well, Bohannon been heating up the last 3 games, 15 of 23 from three-point land, so picking up where he left off.
Kalsher drains the 2-point try after a bobble.
So this is definitely not starting like some Big Ten games that started out earlier this week.
Now, Liam Robbins already halfway to his block total from the first meeting between Minnesota and Iowa. He's got 2 now. Kalsher misses the long-range try.
See, this is what I didn't like. Now, and I'm a guard, Chris. You got to get Robbins the basketball. He made a heck of a block. He ran the floor. Why shoot a contested 3 when you could get the ball inside to Robbins and let him do work?
Great observation, and Garza, it looked like he was alone for a moment, then 2 maroon jerseys got on, and he still stepped through.
Well, both teams really finding their range offensively. And Garza, I mean, he just relentless, like you said, Chris, just keeps coming.
Robbins takes it right at Garza, undaunted.
This is fun.
It is.
You know, you got a traditional big man matchup, and I think Liam Robbins, he may have had more impact in terms of a transfer than any in the Big Ten this year. Seems like he's been here a few years already.
Wieskamp to Bohannon. Over the outstretched block attempt by Brandon Johnson. He plays the glass.
Nice job by Bohannon. You know, you want to close out on him so hard because of his three-point shooting ability, but when he can put it on the deck and get all the way to the rim, that's a really good move.
Great ball movement there. You talk about sharing the rock. If you're Minnesota, it leads to a layup for Booth Gotch.
And this looks like summertime in the high school gym. Just not a whole lot of defense being played early on. Guys getting their scoring on, though.
DJ Frederick drops it in, and talking to a former great defender in the Big Ten, Stephen Bardo out of Illinois, the lack of defense, does that irk you a little bit?
Not at all. I mean, you know, if it's going to be an up and down game, so be it. If it's going to be a slugfest, so be it. It's Big Ten basketball, you know.
Johnson, he burned Iowa from deep in the meeting on Christmas Day, but it's Liam Robbins with the offensive rebound and the foul. Well, you wanted offense, you came to the right place. 15-12 Iowa early. Still very early in this one, but we're on track. Both teams shooting the lights out early. It's 15-12 Iowa, and the big men have been featured for both sides, Stephen. And
I love it because both of them are playing extremely hard. They're active. They're into the game. Liam Robbins getting going early, taking some pressure off of Marcus Carr and his teammates. But if you're not aware of Luka Garza at all times, this is what he's going to do. You see, he starts and he plays a little cat and mouse where he'll start kind of jogging Chris, and he'll put it in another gear and get down court. Always putting pressure on the opposing bigs.
Yeah, I saw that little cat and mouse maneuver there as he got down to the other end. Liam Robbins, though, has faced Luka Garza before. He had 18 points, 4 blocks on Christmas Day. And he told us that what you hear about Luka Garza as you get ready to play him is his relentlessness and how he just never gives up on a basket or the ball, offensive end or defensive end. But it's still different talking about that and then actually playing against it when he goes 110% all game, never stops. 2 more points for the National Player of the Year candidate.
Just what you were talking about. He set the high screen. Liam kind of got turned around. I didn't see what Robbins was looking at, but he lost contact at Garza, and Garza ends up right at the rim. That can't happen.
Already 8 points for Luka Garza. Robbins mid-range. Brandon Johnson with a nearly grown man's rebound, but a great box out by Keegan Murray, the true freshman, on the floor for the first time for Fran McCaffrey. Bullet pass inside to Patrick McCaffrey, who's also on the court for the first time. And Murray commits a foul in the battle for the rebound.
Watch Garza here, sets the screen, sets a good screen. Robbins is in no man's land, gets totally turned around. And Luka Garza just goes right to the bucket. That is too easy. You gotta, he's gonna get his points, Chris, but you gotta make him work a little bit, because if you don't, he'll hit you for 40.
And he's done that already this season. Remember, he had 32 and 17 against Minnesota in that overtime loss for Iowa. If you're Iowa, you're thinking, look, we're 1 overtime loss to Minnesota away from being undefeated in Big Ten play. They think they let one get away up in the Twin Cities on Christmas. Carr tracks down his own miss. It's been a quiet start offensively for Marcus Carr. Trey Williams gets inside and is fouled as the second unit on the floor for Coach Richard Pitino.
Now, I like what Trey Williams just did. I mean, he got into the paint area, pump faked, and that got Garza off balance a little bit and drew the contact. So that's a heads-up play by Williams and one that puts pressure on the Iowa defense.
Williams, a sophomore out of Dallas. And remember, you can stream every Big Ten Network game on the Fox Sports app presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Download today on your smartphone, tablet, and connected devices.
So we got a couple changes coming in, but like we told you, if you like offense, you came to the right game. They're gonna get after it.
Well, and that's been one of the keys to Iowa's success. If you talk to Coach Fran McCaffrey, his second unit is capable of scoring prodigiously, alike, of course, his starters. And correct me if I'm wrong, Stephen, but that's typically not the case. Usually you bring your second unit in for energy, defense, to give your starters a rest. But this year for Iowa, that second unit can score.
Well, Jack Nungy's a guy that's played heavy minutes before his redshirt year, so he's an experienced redshirt sophomore. And then Patrick McCaffrey starting to find his range. He had 10 points in their last matchup win against Maryland. Joe Toussaint has started a lot his freshman year. So they've got some guys that are coming off the bench for Iowa that have had extensive playing experience. And then when you got, like I said, McCaffrey and Keegan Murray, two very talented young players, it's a heck of an offensive mix for Fran McCaffrey's club.
Joe Wieskamp rattles in a pair of free throws following a foul on Minnesota's Trey Williams, who's in the corner right now and jacks up a three and rolls it down.
Trey Williams got that free throws to go down, got his confidence up and stepped up big time on that three there.
Garza after the shot fake. All alone, Joe Toussaint, and Garza found him.
Nice cut by Joe Toussaint behind the defense. And Luka Garza drawing so much attention. Chris, that right here, pump fake, nice pass. Luka Garza doing everything but selling posters at halftime.
Now hold on a second. I don't see the Stephen Bardo montage in your maybe you're in ankle breakers, my man, or dunks too. I know you could throw down.
No. Those are all. That's a great collection, though, man. It warms my heart to see VHS tapes. You know, that's our era right there. But just goes to show, man, that Garza is a student of the game, literally and figuratively.
And I just want to say, Space Jam is an essential for anyone's film study.
Agreed. Great movie.
Can't wait for the sequel, as a matter of fact.
Are the sequels ever as good as the originals, though?
Well, sometimes you can make an argument for that as Trey Williams steps out of bounds. You know, Home Alone 2 is pretty good. Toy Story 2 is pretty good.
Okay. It's a great number right there against ranked opponents. Lets you know that he's not feasting on inferior opponents. He's feasting on, quote-unquote, the best.
Off the Toussaint miss. How about Patrick McCaffrey crashing the glass with authority?
I like the aggressiveness of the Hawkeyes. Toussaint has looked for his shot. Nice job there. McCaffrey missed his first shot, but was able to get that put back. So I like the reserves for Iowa coming in and being aggressive offensively.
That's what they've done all season long. They really gave Iowa a boost in their last game against Maryland. The starters got off to a slow start. They were quickly pulled by Fran McCaffrey, and the offense got on track when that second unit came in. Off the Isaiah Enan miss, here come the Hawkeyes.
Well, Enan shot the three a lot better last year than he is this year.
What do you think about Jordan Bohannon shooting the three?
Well, you've grown accustomed to seeing that in Big Ten land. You got to pick him up off the bus. You can't let him come across half court and have any space, because that's what's going to happen.
Bohannon off to a hot start, 8 points, 4 assists already in this contest. Corner pocket, that's Jamal Mashburn. And Minnesota not shooting quite as efficiently as they were in the early going. And that one is dribbled off Toussaint's leg, and a whistle and a foul.
Well, if you look at Minnesota, they're getting pretty good ball movement and getting decent looks. They're just, like you said, Chris, not converting, but they're getting decent looks. And when you're on the road like this and you're in a critical position, you're down 9, you got to find a way to stop this bleeding.
Garza off the front rim, Gotch the rebound. It's been a tale of 2 Big Ten seasons for Minnesota. 3 really impressive home wins on their home court, of course, against Iowa, Michigan State, and Ohio State. 3 blowout losses on the road in Big Ten play to Illinois, Wisconsin, and Michigan as Gotch heads to the free throw line. How about those home and road splits? A stark contrast.
Yeah, that's, you know, when you look at that, coaches can't really do anything about that, Chris. You know, Coach Pitino can sit there and game plan and scheme all he wants to, but until the players come out and say, you know what, we're not losing today. I don't care where we're playing. We're going to sit down. We're going to defend the way that we need to defend, and then we can get some confidence on the offensive end. He can't do anything about their road woes.
One of the most discussed talking points in college basketball this year without fans in the stands has been the impact of home court advantage. And clearly, you look at the home road splits, it still exists even without fans.
Basketball players are so ritualized that you know, they like certain rims. They like playing with certain basketballs because there's a number of different basketballs for the fans that may not know. The same basketball is not used in every venue. There's 5 different basketballs used in the Big Ten Conference. So home court still has a major advantage in this conference.
5-point lead for Iowa after a strong baseline drive by the junior, Gabe Kalsher. Connor McCaffrey sets the feet and drains it.
Well, that's really good. And he's continuing what he picked up on in Maryland, where they basically just dared him to shoot. And he found some success, and that's carried over till today.
Johnson gets inside, smothered by Nunge and Patrick McCaffrey. A lot of length in that pairing. And Toussaint, a no-look pass to Patrick McCaffrey. It was off target, and Patrick couldn't finish it. Gosh, nearly traveled.
Yeah, he got away with one there.
Robbins from outside. And a collision underneath. You can count the bucket, and then a foul on Joe Toussaint. He thinks he was hooked and held, Stephen, I think.
Well, the funny thing is, Toussaint is a smaller guy in the exchange, and he seems to have given more punishment than he received that time. Take a look at Johnson and Toussaint getting hooked up. Robbins goes for the 3.
Basketball Wednesday on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. All right, here's what we had going into that last timeout, Stephen. Keep an eye inside down low on number 1 for Iowa, Joe Toussaint.
Yeah, Joe Toussaint appeared as though he had Brandon's leg right there, and Larry Serrato's sitting there looking at the whole exchange. And he was able to pick up on the fact that Toussaint initiated the contact and thus received the foul.
His second of the game. Larry Serrato, Courtney Green, Rob Riley are our officials this afternoon. Robbins just hit the 3, does not follow it up with a 2. Nunge, the defensive board for Iowa.
I like Minnesota's response here. Iowa looked like they were going to bust this game open. Minnesota got a couple stops. Liam Robbins hits a 3, and they're feeling better about themselves right now.
C.J. Frederick off to Nunge, drives on Robbins, and Brandon Johnson got in the way for Minnesota defensively. Into the corner, Kalsher. Kalsher's shooting numbers below 25% from deep this season.
And it's all mental, Chris, because he can flat out shoot the basketball form-wise, and he's done it before. But again, this game is so much mental and so much confidence.
Wieskamp with a tough look inside, and then someone landed on him. It's a 3-on-3 right now, and Gotch is fouled by Connor McCaffrey. A prudent play for McCaffrey to wait for everyone else to rejoin the action.
I was glad in that exchange no one got hurt.
Yes.
Looked like Wieskamp went down, and then Kalsher fell on top of him, and it's like a NASCAR mix-up on the corner there.
Kalsher in and out. Well, that's not going to help you mentally. That one looked dead on, and it just popped out as Bohannon short on the rejoinder. And Gotch committed a travel. Earlier, there was a turnover for Minnesota as Trey Williams had his foot out of bounds. Same spot, and another turnover for Minnesota.
Yeah, Booth Gotch is a guy that has really not given Minnesota much of a lift on the road. I see he's got different color shoes on. I don't know as a coach how you allow that. I'm being very serious. I don't care if they're pink or whatever color, but just have the shoes be the same color, right? I mean, I don't know.
Too much eyewash?
No, it's just that, are they even the same shoe? Think about it. I mean, they're different colors, but are they the same shoe? I don't know. I'm showing my age here, but I don't agree with that.
Garza at the free throw line. Were you a Converse guy or an Air Force Ones guy?
Hey, man, if it was free, it was for me.
For sure.
Yeah, that's the type of guy I am. I'm not turning down nothing but my collar. You know what I mean? So What if we were Converse in college, but if we were whatever, I would have been wearing them because they were free.
You got to go easy on your feet, though. I mean, you don't want blisters or anything like that.
Man, they're 18 to 22 years old. Come on, man. Their feet don't hurt.
Gotch. Offensive rebound, Kalsher. Marcus Carr scoreless so far in the first half for Minnesota.
I don't think he's being aggressive enough, Chris. I think he's trying to get his teammates involved and trying to defer a little bit, but he needs to press the issue.
3 to shoot. Maybe he does it here. And Garza eventually wins the battle for the rebound.
That's a great box out by Luka Garza that time.
Carr reaches in and fouls C.J. Frederick. Here are the top 5 scorers in the Big Ten. Luka Garza, #1. Marcus Carr, #3. And I don't know, maybe this is your first team all Big Ten lineup come the end of the season.
It could definitely be that. But I think someone from Michigan may have something to say about that. Hunter Dickinson, the way he's playing. But that's an outstanding group of players. Top 5 scorers in the league.
I think Hunter Dickinson, if nothing else, has stamped his name on the Big Ten all-freshman team this year. Bohannon misses the triple try. Keegan Murray for Iowa could very well be on that all-freshman team as well at the end of the year.
Totally agree. He has had really good impact, especially the last 3 games, averaging 11 points per game.
Johnson, that's a pretty mid-range game for the transfer from Western Michigan.
What we didn't notice, Garza ran hard, forcing Robbins to pick him up. Now he's going to work.
Relentless as ever, and a rare miss underneath for Garza. He wanted a foul, and there is a whistle on the play.
Watch Garza. Okay, yeah, he's jogging. Nope, he's sprinting. And when Liam Roberts has to work like this, Chris, Garza doesn't stop. He just doesn't stop moving. If he doesn't get the basketball, he's looking to go set a screen. If he catches, he can't score, he's looking to set his teammates up. If he gives it up, he's cutting hard. He wears you down physically and mentally all game because you have to be cognizant of where he is at all times.
There was a foul on the other end of the floor, but it was against Iowa's Connor McCaffrey, his second personal. And Gotch hasn't gotten it going from beyond the arc this season for Minnesota, but he has been great at the free throw line. Coming up on the State Farm Halftime Report, a sneak peek of Coach McCaffrey's interview with Mike Hall on Mike Hall's new podcast, On the Bench. You'll really like that. Some discussion about Kobe Bryant. I'll leave it at that. Much more to come at the half.
Well, Mike does an excellent job anyway. I don't care what platform you're going to listen to Hall, because that guy, man, you can't throw anything at him and mess him up.
I can say the same thing about you. Garza underneath, doesn't finish again. Keegan Murray, look at the freshman. Double teamed, finds Garza. Kalsher took a shot. He's down right now for Minnesota. It's Marcus Carr, his first bucket of the game.
Now, Chris, we're going to mark this play right here. For 4:31 left in the first half, there was a loose ball, and Minnesota came up with it and got a bucket. This is critical. Garza missed a shot. Murray gets the rebound. There's an exchange. Guys knocking heads, typical Big Ten basketball, but then Minnesota goes down and converts. If Minnesota can hold on in this game, that was a turning point. That's a turning point in this contest.
Iowa's gotten a little chilly. They're 1 for their last 9. They've missed 7 straight from the floor, haven't scored in over 2 minutes. And Minnesota has made it a 2-point game. Wieskamp. That's a big shot for Wieskamp, who's closing in on 1,000 career points.
And see, that's how good Iowa is. Minnesota, that was a really good defensive possession. They were in really good position, but it doesn't matter when Wieskamp elevates like that.
He's at 996, trying to become the 50th player in program history to reach a grand. Robbins around and out. Garza's got it, and outlets to C.J. Frederick. Frederick over Carr. Keegan Murray skies for the offensive rebound, puts it back up, left it short. And finally, Minnesota's Trey Williams comes away with it.
When Keegan Murray gets in the weight room, Big Ten, watch out.
Holy cow, Marcus Carr, 5 points now after a quiet start.
See, I was saying he needed to be more aggressive, Chris, but Carr knows what he's doing. He knows when to look for his shot when he doesn't.
Maybe he's looking for his shot here. He's starting to heat up a little bit. Almost gave Minnesota the lead.
Wise decision by Bohannon here to slow it down, get a set play, because this sequence in the last couple of minutes has really favored Minnesota.
Wieskamp thought about the step back, feeds it inside to Garza. Here comes Minnesota again with a chance to tie or take the lead. Minnesota hasn't led since it was 2-0. And Wieskamp bats it out of bounds. Marcus Carr has been outstanding all season long for Minnesota. He's getting it going here on the road in Iowa City. Game. On the hardwood, here's the top 4 in the Big Ten. Michigan, Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin. No disrespect to Michigan, but I think they might be the surprise for some Big Ten fans, at least based on expectations going into the season.
I agree. We all knew that they were an older group. They're an older group, got some veteran players, even with their transfers. They're still older with those guys in terms of Smith and Brown. But the way that they've gelled, there's something special going on in Ann Arbor this season.
A blocking foul called on Gabe Kalsher. His second. Minnesota's had a couple of opportunities to tie or take the lead here in the past couple of minutes, and Iowa's defense has held. Look at Garza guarded by Eric Curry. Wieskamp falling out of bounds. Keegan Murray is there. Beautiful cut by Patrick McCaffrey, but even better defense by Trey Williams.
Trey Williams has been a really good spark off the bench this afternoon for Minnesota.
Booth Gotch, big time triple, and Minnesota grabs a 1-point lead.
See, Booth Gotch, Gabe Kalsher have got to give the Gophers some contributions on the offensive end.
Luka Garza, you almost knew that was going in from the moment he let it go.
Yeah, that's the thing. So you work so hard, you get a lead, and then you relax for a second, and Iowa stings you. So that's what's so difficult about playing the Hawkeyes, that they keep constant pressure on you on both ends of the floor.
Garza's shooting just under 50% from deep this season. He's been excellent from everywhere on the floor. Marcus Carr. Garza the rebound. Final minute. And as Isaiah Enan picks himself up off the floor, maybe Iowa's got a transition opportunity. Not so, as Marcus Carr steals himself and takes the charge with the 6'11", 265 Luka Garza heading right his way.
Well, you talk about Garza just taking what the defense gives him, man. Watch Carr. Understand the big fella's not going to be able to stop.
That's got to hurt.
Yeah, that's T-Dot, baby. That's Toronto tough right there.
Do they call Carbondale, Illinois, C-Dot?
No.
They should.
No, we don't have nearly as much love as T-Dot does. That's a great cut by Booth Gotch. It's funny, that orange pill known as the basketball has got some medicine in it.
Really?
Because some of these guys have been struggling before today, and Gotch, Trey Williams have come alive here in the first half for Minnesota.
Nine points for Gotch, just one off his season average.
He really, Booth Gotch, struggled at Michigan. 2 points, 1 of 4 from the field. And Chris, there were times during that game I didn't know he was on the floor. He's too talented for his presence not to be felt at all times.
second leading scorer at Utah last season, averaging about the same points per game this year with Minnesota. Garza inside is hacked.
And so this is what makes good players great. He's doing his work early, moving Robbins up the floor, and that 6 inches to a foot that he got up the lane allows his teammates to give a nice post feed. It's very subtle, but very effective. You know, I thought Northwestern, when they went to Iowa and held him under 20 points, you know, that's an accomplishment in and of itself, Chris, but when you sell out so much on Garza, Iowa's other players are so good. That's what happened against Northwestern. Yeah, Garza didn't get 20, but Wieskamp goes off, Bohannon goes off. C.J. Frederick can sting you from various areas on the court, so just pick your poison with these Hawkeyes.
And that game with fewer than 20 points for Garza is significant because it was the first time in 19 tries that a Big Ten team had held him under 20 points. But Iowa very well-rounded and capable of getting contributions from about 10 guys on this roster for Fran McCaffrey. That's how deep the Iowa bench is. Minnesota misses a chance to tie before halftime, and it's a 2-point game going into the locker room at halftime.
Great showing based on their last game, Minnesota at Michigan. Great job today coming in and being aggressive.
Minnesota has been a much different team on the road than they have been at home, but a very impressive first-half performance on the road against number 5 Iowa. Luka Garza, though, is coming back for a second half with the Hawkeyes up by 2. Game as we get ready to start the second half in this top 25 rematch between Iowa and Minnesota. We'll take a look at this afternoon's Auto Owners Insurance game leaders. Booth Gotch with 10 points already in double figures for Minnesota. Luka Garza with 15. That gives him 1,900 for his career. He's already second all-time in Iowa program history. He's got first place all-time in his sights. Steven, speaking of Luka Garza, he had the inside game going for Iowa, and then Jordan Bohannon really had things going from outside.
Yeah, and when Iowa is balanced like this, Chris, they're very difficult to defend. I thought Liam Robbins did as good a job as you can really do defensively against Garza one-on-one. But you just see how relentless and talented he is, and then he works so well with Bohannon. Watch him just move a little bit to create the space. Bohannon doesn't need much. Right there, catch and shoot off, kind of a semi-fast break situation, but interesting stat right there.
Yeah. Why do you think that was?
I just think Iowa started feeling pretty good from outside, and Luka Garza even stepped away and hit a 3 in that sequence. So I expect Iowa to reestablish themselves here in the paint to start the second half.
Joe Wieskamp had 7 points in the first half for Iowa. He coughs it up. Brandon Johnson there with some tape around his left hand. Here comes Minnesota. Minnesota did not shoot particularly well in the first half. 36% from the floor, 4 for 17 from long range, but here they are just down a bucket. Kalsher walked.
Well, Gabe Kalsher. He's gotten up 7 shots, so he's being aggressive. But just one of those things, trying to get those feet going a little bit too quickly.
And we mentioned he's shooting just 23% from three-point range this season, but he's 7 for 21 over his last 3 games coming into today, so maybe he's starting to get on track. C.J. Frederick, that one changed its mind halfway down.
That was an excellent defensive possession by the Gophers that time. A nice double down, they rotated out, and Gotch got a hand up on Frederick. That was really, really good.
Liam Robbins on Luka Garza, one of the great post matchups in the Big Ten. And a foul is called. Back to that double team.
Watch the double team. Brandon Johnson comes over. Kalsher picks up the next, and look at Booth Gotch. Goes out to bother the shot. That's textbook defense right there by the Gophers.
That's a foul on Luka Garza, by the way, and he's got 2 now as Liam Robbins drains the free throw. Robbins is from Davenport, Iowa, Stephen, and has told us that he's used to not necessarily being the favorite in his hometown. Growing up in Iowa, people cheer for the Hawkeyes no matter what, but there are definitely some Liam Robbins sympathizers in Davenport.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And the mark he left on the Missouri Valley Conference is probably still being felt at his time at Drake University.
Jordan Bohannon rattles one down.
Nice adjustment by the Hawkeyes that time. Now they're seeing the double team come, looking opposite. Bohannon open in the corner pocket.
11 points, 6 assists for J-Bo.
Love to see Bohannon back on the court after suffering that hip injury, and he looks as good as he has all his career, and that's a great sign for Iowa.
Give him a 7th assist now as Joe Wieskamp tickles the twine from deep.
And this is what Iowa does to you. You can hang around with them a little bit, but you got to be careful because Iowa can hit you with a couple 10-2, 12-2 runs, and the game can be over.
Airmail from Booth Gotch.
Minnesota's got to be careful here.
Wieskamp, for 1,000 career points, he can do it at the free throw line after Brandon Johnson picks up the foul.
Well, again, I keep talking about how good Garza is out of the double team. He drags his defenders to create additional space for Bohannon, and then if you're Booth Gotch, you did the right thing. You got to pick up Bohannon, and you hope that your teammates can fill in behind you, and they didn't. That young man right there, I mean, when you have a guy that can be your lead guard, that can shoot with the range that he does and has the basketball IQ and experience, that's why Iowa's number 5 in the country.
Congratulations, Joe Wieskamp, 50th Iowa Hawkeye with 1,000 points. Saw Garza step out on Kalsher in the corner there. Kalsher gets it back, lets it fly, does not drop. Liam Robbins misses the putback. It's out of bounds and coming back Iowa's way.
Well, good work on the offensive glass from Minnesota, just could not convert. And Kalsher got a good look. I mean, and you know what, Chris, I'm impressed because he continues to step up and take those shots. I mean, he's not having a lot of success, but at least he's stepping up with confidence.
That was the big key to Minnesota's win over Iowa on Christmas Day as Jordan Bohannon draws the foul. Minnesota poured in 17 three-pointers in that game. They've only got 4 so far today as Kalsher is whistled for the personal. A correction, Marcus Carr picks up the foul, his 2nd. You don't see that very often. One of the best free throw shooters in program history with a miss.
Yeah, I think sometimes an empty gym when it's quiet is a little bit more difficult to shoot free throws than a crowd in there making noise.
He goes 1 for 2 and Iowa builds an 8-point lead. 8-0 scoring run at that.
Yeah, these are the runs that I'm talking about. And you've got to find a way to stem the tide and stop the bleeding. Where do you go right here?
Carr after the shot fake. Over Connor McCaffrey.
That's beautiful. Marcus Carr just showing you a little bit of everything in his toolbox.
That broke that 8-0 run for Iowa, but it's now 10-2 thanks to Luka Garza.
Well, Mr. Relentless never lets up. Great job of putting pressure on the Gophers.
Garza's got 17 after a tip pass. Falls right back to Garza. Here comes Iowa once again.
Gabe Kalsher doing a good job that time. Bohannon trying to find space for that 3. Could not do it.
Wieskamp traveled.
And that's about as much emotion as you're going to see from Joe Wieskamp.
It's because he lets Fred McCaffrey do the talking for him.
No, man. Joe is one of the coolest players, and I don't mean that in a derogatory manner. He's got a poker face as good as anybody in the Big Ten Conference. And, you know when he's doing great, but you don't know when things are going not good for him. He doesn't show you that. which I think is a skill.
He was a top 10 scorer in the Big Ten last year, 14 points per game. Another takeaway for Iowa. McCaffrey threads one to Wieskamp. It looked like it was going to Garza, and it slipped through all the way to Wieskamp, who lays it in. What a feed up top from McCaffrey.
Great look by McCaffrey. I was with you, Chris. I thought Garza might have been the recipient, but look at the sweet dime through the teeth of the defense, and even Connor McCaffrey turns around and has a look of accomplishment.
Rankings in the Big Ten. Look at all of the teams in the top 60. And Stephen, Michigan, Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, that's all a given. But you've got Ohio State, Minnesota. They're 3-3 in conference. Penn State is winless in conference, and they're still so high in the net rankings. Another testament to how good the conference is.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And, you know, when you look at that Ohio State team with an impressive victory at Rutgers, I know Omoruyi is out. I know that they're underhanded a little bit, but there's only been 2 teams that go into the rack the last 2 years and win a game. That is Michigan last year and Ohio, I'm sorry, 3 games in the last 2 seasons. Iowa, Michigan, and then Ohio State.
The rack, of course, is notorious as perhaps the toughest road venue in the Big Ten, but Carver Hawkeye is absolutely on that list as well. Iowa's won 21 of its last 22 in this gym. Kalsher, a tough look that's off the mark. Frederick into Wieskamp, guarded by Carr. Garza all alone inside for a moment. He muscles through the double team and lays it home.
Luka Garza does as good a job of up fake and step through a double team as you're going to see in college basketball without fouling. It's a skill that he's developed, and he makes it look so easy.
Luka Garza doesn't miss, and neither does Stephen Bardo as Mashburn misses the triple try. You said Iowa excels at its 10-0, 12-2 scoring runs in the second half. They're on a 14-2 rip right now. Make it 16-2.
Oh, man. That time he catches, throws the chicken wing out to create the space, and then goes up under. Once again, danger zone here for Minnesota Gophers.
Put that in the bank of Stephen Bardo terminology. Chicken wing, also crab dribble. You know, you like your zoo animals, don't you?
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. I didn't even notice. Thanks for telling me, Chris.
I got you. Luka Garza, what more can you say about this guy?
Well, this move right here, step through, create the space, and then watch the chicken wing right there. Then goes with his left off the glass. Almost unstoppable.
Minnesota and Iowa. Hawkeyes with some distance now, up 14. They're red hot, continuing to put up strong shooting numbers. Minnesota has gone cold, and Minnesota doesn't have any assists right now in the second half, Steven.
Well, I think the zone defense has been pretty effective for Iowa in terms of limiting the ball movement inside and out. Nice penetration that time by Mashburn Jr.
That's right, Jamal Mashburn Jr., the true freshman, and the son of Jamal Sr., 4th overall pick in the 1993 NBA draft. That foul, by the way, was on Connor McCaffrey, his 3rd. He's the first player in the game to pick up 3 fouls, as it's been a real fluid, up and down game.
Yeah, and it's, you know, the last game on the road at Maryland, you know, Iowa found some success without McCaffrey on the floor. And anytime you have a little bit of adversity as a team and you have to take out one of your starters and you find success, that bodes well for the rest of the season.
Garza bullies Liam Robbins.
You see his teammates smiling at him. This guy's got a motor. Look at it, catches right there, point blank range, up fake. You don't foul him. More often than not, he's going to have an and-one opportunity.
23 points for the big man on 9 of 15 shooting. And he cannot coax the 24th point down.
So right now, if you're Minnesota, you got to try to find Robbins if you can. Let him touch and go to work a little bit.
Keegan Murray commits the foul.
Yeah, you heard exacerbated sound coming from the Iowa bench, thinking that Murray got a clean pick on that. Good-looking freshman.
You know, some folks in Iowa City and across the great state think he should even be playing more than he is.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, in his last 3 games, he's really coming alive and getting a lot more confident. But, you know, things are going well when your team is number 5 in the country and you're wanting a reserve to get more playing time.
A freshman reserve at that, yeah.
Yes.
Great point. And you're not going to play with 3 fouls either.
That's what we're referencing right there. Keegan Murray starting to show that he's one of the premier freshmen in this conference.
Off the Marcus Carr miss. Iowa has hit its last 7 from the floor. Blistering hot right now. Bohannon inside draws the foul.
And he's so good at that. You know, gets it to the lane, and an assortment of up fakes, and he can shoot a runner. That time he felt Carr, so he up faked, got the contact, was able to get to the line.
And that's 3 fouls on Marcus Carr, who has just 7 points on 3 of 12 shooting, 1 of 6 from beyond the long line. Came into the game 3rd in the conference in points per game at over 21 a clip, but has not gotten to 20 points since his last game against Iowa on Christmas Day when he dropped 30.
Well, right now, if you're Minnesota, how do you stop the bleeding? Try to get the ball inside. Eric Curry can finish. Isaiah Enid is probably more comfortable on the perimeter, but you've got to get into the teeth of the defense. The 3-point shot for Minnesota has not been there today at 4 of 21.
Carr doesn't stick it over Garza. Eric Curry with a heck of a rebound after a couple of tips. Carr misses the 2nd try, and there's Joe Wieskamp. Triple-double alert for Jordan Bohannon. He already has 10 assists in the game. And after the ball is stripped from Joe Wieskamp, it goes out of bounds, last touched by the Hawkeyes.
Well, Wieskamp thought that it looked like Mashburn hit the ball out. And that Joe trying to help out the Courtney Green there, but to no avail.
That was about as vocal as you'll see him get right there.
That's a good point.
Mashburn off the heel, and the rebound to Wieskamp.
Great look.
Garza all alone.
So where does Minnesota go? I mean, you know, Marcus Carr struggling. You know, Liam Robbins is at the scorer's table getting ready to check back in, but how do you manufacture points in this situation if you're Minnesota?
No Booth Gotch on the floor right now either for Richard Pitino. Williams misses a runner. Isaiah Enan is there on cleanup duty.
That might get the Gophers a little bit of breathing room here.
Bohannon fouled from behind. And a timeout on the floor. Luka Garza bringing the energy along with everything else for the Hawkeyes. They're beneath me. Iowa pulling away in the 2nd. Brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners makes sense for you. Roy Marble didn't make a lot of sense for many opponents in the Big Ten. He's Iowa's all-time leading scorer, 21-16. Luka Garza hot on his heels. Steven Garza needs to average 15.5 points per game through the end of the regular season if he wants to beat Marble's record before postseason play. A rare turnover for Garza there. And for a guy who's averaging 27 points per game, that's well within his crosshairs.
Yeah, I think that he could break that record in regular season plays. He's just so difficult to defend. Remember, we were talking about Northwestern. They threw the kitchen sink at it, and he didn't get 20 points. But Iowa was able to win going away. So, you know, whether he scores or not, Iowa's going to be successful.
Garza underneath once again to extend Iowa's field goal streak to 9 straight. There's a big answer finally on the other end for Trey Williams with Minnesota's 5th three-pointer of the game on 24 tries.
I mean, I want to educate Big Ten fans a little bit how dominant Luka Garza has been throughout his Iowa career. You're talking about Ronnie Lester, B.J. Armstrong, Chris Street, Greg Stokes, just to name a few Iowa greats. And he's gonna top all of them, including the late great Roy Marble, who Chris was. I was Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten, but I couldn't do anything with Roy Marble. He was outstanding.
Jordan Bohannon in and out. We also have to mention our very own Jess Settles of the Big Ten Network on that list as well.
That's exactly right. One of the Iowa greats.
Carr knocks it down.
Okay, Gophers showing some life here.
But still a 12-point lead for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Here's Wieskamp. Splits Carr's hands on the pass to Patrick McCaffrey. Wieskamp with the pull-up over Liam Robbins, got the 17-footer.
That is so good. That's such a good decision by Wieskamp that time. I thought he was going to try to attack off the bounce. He got enough airspace and finished.
Wieskamp had been held in single digits for his last 2 straight games. And it's been a bounce-back performance for Wieskamp, who's got 15 on the day.
Well, Wieskamp, one of the smoother operators, in my opinion, in the Big Ten Conference. Just makes things look easy. The game comes easy to him. High school legend and Muscatine. You know, I like saying Muscatine. I don't know why. Just
that's all right.
Yeah, like saying his hometown. So
let it rip then.
Yeah, he's a high school legend in Iowa. And so he's used to the big stage and, you know, just fearless.
He did pick up his first foul of the game a moment ago, but has hit both of his 3-point field goal attempts in this game. Jamal Mashburn Jr. over Jack Nunge. Tough play.
Nice job. And see, now Minnesota getting the ball into the teeth of the defense a little bit better.
Nunge off the rim. Rebound to Trey Williams. Into the corner, Mashburn. And Curry fought for the rebound. 2 players fell over. And here's Patrick McCaffrey for Iowa. Going all the way. Nunge, second chance. Doesn't have that opportunity. There was a foul on the floor.
Well, that was a tough shot from Patrick McCaffrey. I thought that was going to drop. I mean, he's going left and comes back right off glass. I mean, he almost got that to fall. That's a heck of a play. He's 6'8", ladies and gentlemen. Putting it on the deck, getting it to the glass, and just couldn't get it to finish. And nice follow by Nunge.
Foul is on Minnesota's Eric Curry, number 2. And Nunge drops in the first free throw. You know, one interesting quirk on Iowa's roster, you talk about Patrick McCaffrey, and we've been talking about Keegan Murray as well. Patrick McCaffrey is a redshirt freshman. Keegan Murray is a true freshman. But really, Keegan Murray, and for that matter his brother Chris, they got a year of prep experience down at an academy in Florida. Patrick McCaffrey redshirted last year, only played in a couple of games for the Hawkeyes. So it's really the Murray twins that have gotten more playing experience going into their start of their college basketball careers than Patrick McCaffrey, even though McCaffrey has been on the roster 1 year longer.
That's a great point. And McCaffrey, you could, I mean, he knows how to play just like his brother. Just reads the defense well, reads the play, puts himself in position to be successful.
Here's a takeaway by Eric Curry of Minnesota. Marcus Carr working around Jack Nunge, and he walked.
I don't know if Carr was trying to draw the foul and didn't get it, and then kind of lost his balance. Because when he turned the corner, Chris, right here, I'm thinking he's going all the way to the rim. And I think Nunge just made a pretty good play to kind of get in front of him and force a turnover.
I mean, driving on a guy who's 6'11", even if you're Marcus Carr, maybe that causes you to have second thoughts. Toussaint open lane around Booth Gotch. There's Nunji, who couldn't quite grab the loose ball.
So right now, if you're Minnesota, you better make hay. What do I mean by that? Garza's on the bench. Bohannon's on the bench. This is the time that you try to get back in the game if you're Minnesota.
8 points for Brandon Johnson following a 26-point outing in the Christmas Day showdown against Iowa. Garza and Connor McCaffrey waiting in the wings for Fran McCaffrey. Patrick McCaffrey around the world and down.
See, again, what I'm saying is that young man knows how to play. Knew he had a size advantage against Williams, took his time and converted.
It's Kalsher, the spin around Patrick McCaffrey. 8 to shoot. Brandon Johnson gets the floater. 4 straight points for Johnson give him double figures. And without Marcus Carr or Liam Robbins on the floor, Minnesota is down 11. Richard Pitino in the goal. Minnesota. Stephen, let's let our graphics department go to work. This is what we call a three-head. Some might say a three-headed monster. Luka Garza, Joe Wieskamp, Jordan Bohannon. You used the term making hay. I think they've done that today.
Oh, man, they've done an excellent job. And this is one of the aspects that makes them one of the top teams in the country, is that they've got a lot of guys that can step up and be the leading scorer outside of Luka Garza if need be. And so, you know, they feed Garza because he's so efficient, he's so effective. But you know, you have to pick your poison against Iowa, and now you've got a refreshed Garza, a refreshed Bohannon back on the floor for Iowa.
Thank you, Alex Struckman in the graphics department for that, by the way. He'll watch his Ohio State Buckeyes in the national championship tomorrow as Iowa keeps it in the half court. Garza, elbow extended. Robbins is there after the tip.
Get Robbins involved.
Carr splits the D. And it's Garza who eventually wins the battle.
Tough move by Carr, just didn't get it to finish.
And Connor McCaffrey fouled by Marcus Carr. That's number 4 on Carr.
Carr gets to the rim and jumps into Garza. Garza goes straight up. Robbins has a chance, but just couldn't get it to go. But now Carr, it's a tough break for the Gophers.
So Carr is heading over to the bench once again. 4 scorers in double figures for Minnesota today. Carr is one of them, but they all have 10 points apiece. And it's left short by Connor McCaffrey.
So let me point something out to you. So he fouled Connor McCaffrey, correct?
Correct.
24 feet away from the bucket, trying to go over a screen where Connor McCaffrey doesn't go off screens and shoot threes. So that's a tough decision if you're Carr. You got to be more aware of time and situation for your team.
Booth Gotch knocks it down in the corner.
I'm gonna have to talk about Gotch's shoes more often.
Yeah.
He's responded ever since.
2 for 4 from deep today. You'll probably see the same shoes in Minnesota's next game, I would hazard a guess.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if he can shoot it like this, why not?
Yeah. Keegan Murray had that pass tipped away from Brandon Johnson. Robbins calling for it just outside the lane. Out to Mashburn. Garza was elbowed on the play, and Mashburn drains it. We got a 5-point game.
Nice inside-out action by the Gophers. You get the ball in the paint, good things happen. Liam Robbins collapses the defense, Chris, and has a presence of mind. Being aggressive, teammate is wide open. Jamal Mashburn Jr. caught a cold. He was so open on that shot. Nice job by Robbins. And then, inadvertent head to the chin. Hope he didn't bite his tongue on that one.
Oof. That's the second time we've seen a head-on collision in this game. Gabe Kalsher, remember, was bonked in the first half. That's one thing that I don't think translates through the screen when you're watching college basketball, especially in the Big Ten, but when you're able to watch a game live and in person, basketball is a contact sport. I mean, it is way more physical than you think.
Yeah, I agree. And it doesn't do justice on TV, like you said, Chris, about how physical these games are played. And I tip my hat to the officials because they do a wonderful job, in my opinion, of setting the tone and letting these guys decide the outcome on the floor as opposed to fouling guys in and out of the game.
So Minnesota has reversed the script. After a brutal start to the second half, they've hit 8 of their last 13 shots. Wieskamp cut off by Kalsher. And it's Garza after the shot fake.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. I mean, that's textbook. You learn that as a kid. That's one of the first things you learn is playing basketball. When you learn how to dribble, you learn how to up fake, put it down once, and go into your jumper.
Johnson rattles one down. He's been great in the second half. We showed you the VHS DVD collection for Garza earlier in the game. Maybe he got that move and perhaps that one as well from his film studies as a youth.
Well, I tell you what, it's tough for Robbins right now because if you front, do you have help on the backside and Garza will walk you up the lane? Do you let him catch and foul you out of the game? It's tough.
Connor McCaffrey with the foul. That's his 4th against Liam Robbins. And take a look at this.
Up fake, you show the ball, you put it down. That's what guards do. And he's 6'11", then he runs the floor. Look where he gets Robbins, up the lane, so that there's enough room for that post feed to come and for him to easy finish. He needs to make some DVDs when he's done playing basketball to show postmen how to work. I'm serious. Because he does such a good job of knowing where he is on the floor, and his teammates can be very confident that he'll give enough space for them to give an effective pass.
With Brandon Johnson on the deck for Minnesota, that was a missed opportunity for the Golden Gophers as Liam Robbins missed 2 free throws. And Minnesota commits a foul to give Johnson some time to gather himself. Johnson with 12 points, 8 rebounds. He really helped spark Minnesota's offensive surge in the second half. We'll take a look and come back after this. As he collided with Luka Garza right here. Boom. Kind of got ear hold, Steven.
Yeah, and it's a basketball play. Luka Garza is simply trying to box out. Brandon's trying to come around the backside, gets caught with an inadvertent elbow. And you know what? I'm with Fran. If this is anything but a common foul, I wouldn't agree with that call. And it's good to see Brandon Johnson. He looks like he's checking into the game, so he will be okay. But you can see a little blood on that towel.
Opened him up a little bit. No call on the elbow, we understand.
Good. I like that. I mean, I don't like the fact that Brandon's got caught there, but that's a basketball play. That wasn't anything intentional.
And there was the foul by Jamal Mashburn on Jordan Bohannon with Brandon Johnson down on the floor at the other end. So Bohannon now goes to the free throw line. That was the first on Mashburn, by the way. You know, we mentioned Bohannon's free throw shooting ability, and he missed somewhat shockingly earlier in this game, but he hasn't gotten to the free throw line a ton this season. That was just his 10th free throw attempt all year.
Well, I think in years past, Bohannon has had to carry a heavier portion of the offense, and so he would create a lot more opportunities and put a lot more pressure on the defense, whereas now he doesn't necessarily have to carry so much of a load. He can still be an assassin, from long range and mix his game up, but he's got so many more weapons on this Iowa team that he may not get as many opportunities at the free throw line as previous seasons.
He's gone bonkers today with a career-high 13 assists, 16 points, and 6 rebounds. Been in great sync with Luka Garza all afternoon. Isaiah Ihnen misses the three-pointer, and Iowa can stretch its lead to double figures once again inside of 4 minutes.
I like that shot by Ihnen. You know why? The ball got inside. They kicked it back out. Ihnen got a high-quality look. He just didn't convert. That's a good shot for the Gophers.
Here's C.J. Frederick. Nunji over Ihnen. Down it goes.
Nunji, that's a big shot right there. If they don't hit that, Minnesota comes down and scores. Boy, it gets a little tight.
Robbins with that shot contested, and you're absolutely right. That was Nunji's first field goal of the game, by the way. And then he comes up big on the defensive end, too.
Well, Nunji is so long. I mean, he's 6'11", but he is just extremely long. He's agile. And when he builds a wall along with Garza, it's not a lot of room in there.
Look at the pass from Garza. Nunji couldn't lay it home.
Look for Carr to shoot quick here.
You got it, Steven. And he books it.
So remember, ladies and gentlemen, the last time these two teams hooked up, Iowa had a 7-point lead with 37 seconds left. The Gophers forced overtime. Plenty of time for the Gophers to get in this one.
Wieskamp off the curl. Got it.
That's nice action coming off of that screen into a nice catch-and-shoot jumper.
14th assist of the game for Jordan Bohannon. Kalsher gotta have it and delivers.
So now the three-point shot starting to open up a little bit for the Gophers, excuse me. Carr's got to be careful. He's got 4 fouls. Can't be too aggressive in this scenario.
Iowa led by as many as 18 in the second half, threatening to put Minnesota away, but the Gophers have battled back, and Liam Robbins fouls Luka Garza. Later tonight, more hoops action comes your way when Indiana takes on Nebraska, and then it's number 12 Illinois against Maryland. All tonight, presented by Jeep on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Indiana tries to get back on track after a double overtime loss to Wisconsin on Thursday.
Boy, that one stings for Indiana.
Yeah.
I was on the call for that one with Adam Amin, and I tell you what, Indiana, that was one of the better games I've seen them play this season, and they came up just a little bit short. But big plays from the Badgers all the way down the line. That's why they're one of the best in this conference.
23 straight wins for Wisconsin inside the Kohl Center against Indiana, I think it was.
Yep, that's right.
Robbins has to be careful in the final 2 minutes now, playing with 4 fouls. Carr trying to shoot Minnesota back in. Nunji the rebound, and Robbins nearly picked up his 5th.
Iowa going to elect to take a little bit of time in this possession. Maybe like a high screen and roll.
Nunji blocked by Robbins. Here's Wieskamp. This could be a dagger, and it is.
Nice job by Wieskamp stepping up with that confidence. That loose ball scenario.
Gotch short, rebound Bohannon. And now time is really on the side of the Hawkeyes.
Well, this year's version of the Iowa Hawkeyes, they can win a lot of different ways. I've seen them grind out games. I've seen them go up and down and go toe-to-toe with the nation's #1 team for about 30, 35 minutes of that game. It's a talented squad.
Add that to the highlight reel for Jordan Bohannon. The step back has the bench going crazy. C.J. Frederick fouls Marcus Carr.
And Bohannon likes daggers. Might as well be Jordan Dagger Bohannon because he loves taking these shots in these critical situations. Wieskamp, nice kick out from Nunge. And the bench loves it.
Carr misses the three, Nunge the rebound. And to the point of Iowa's defense, Stephen, they hold Minnesota to 35% shooting, 29% from deep. Excellent performances by Luka Garza and Jordan Bohannon in particular. Joe Wieskamp solid as well with 20 points. And Iowa gets revenge over Minnesota from that Christmas Day loss. And the Hawkeyes are now 11-2, 5-1 in the Big Ten, trailing only Michigan in conference play. Michigan is 5-0.
Bohannon, 14 assists, 19 points, 7 rebounds. Jordan Bohannon doing yeoman's work here this afternoon for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
And back to the drawing board for Minnesota as they are still winless in conference play on the road. They fall to 10-4, 3-4 on the season. Folks, that will wrap it up for us from Iowa City. Iowa knocks off Minnesota 86-71. Coming up tonight, a doubleheader of more Big Ten hoops. So for Stephen Bardo, Glenn Hallis, our producer, Andrew Blaustein, our director, and our fantastic crew, I'm Chris Foster signing off from Iowa City. Enjoy the rest of the Big Ten basketball day.